The secret is out. There's some things I wish I knew before quitting my job. But first, I'm going to give you the opportunity to like and subscribe this video. You come back and then we'll discuss why. I took notes. There's some things I wish I knew before I quit. With a twist. I feel like there is a part of us that almost learns better with hindsight. I am so over Mrs. Hindsight. Mrs. Hindsight, no ma'am. I don't want to learn that way. And so I've decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pull the gems from that particular situation. Whatever it is that was uncomfortable, that should be our pace and our posture in life anyway. When it's uncomfortable, pull the gem so that you know how to recognize that particular issue in the future. Yeah, we're not going to just keep lessons in the past. I'm taking lessons from the past as armor for the future. Because that's the only way you win. You think I'm going to sit here and let tears, frustration, and eat all the above be my grand prize for leaving something? No. I leave so that I can apply something to alleviate me later. Yeah, it will be a form of relief because now I know, when you fry bacon high, it pops. I'm not going to just say, I'm never cooking bacon again. And we go to the extremes on certain things. And it's like, no. Let's pull from it, okay? So I'm going to pull from quitting the job and what I wish I knew beforehand. Numero one, working harder has no value. None. Zero zing zing got no higher. How do I know? Because I watched my dad in Genesis. What's the first thing God created on day one? Class, light. What did he do after that? Nothing. Day one, turned the light on. It's good. And that marked the day. Okay. So what did he do on day two? Separate. He gradually did some stuff. It literally started from one thing, 1 to 3 things. And then when it got to completion, he was like, okay, so I'm taking a rest because we're not overworking. If the creator said, I'm not overworking myself, what you doing? Where you at? Oh, you got plans. Don't say it. You see what I'm saying? It's like, excuse me. Here you are like, I didn't get to it. So I'm going to take my computer home and then I'm going to work on the weekend and then oh, you scaring him and me a little bit. If I'm working harder has no value. What you're supposed to do is say, oh, what were the hurdles and the obstacles that hindered me from completing what I set out to complete? 1, am I setting too much up in one day? 2, can I break down this particular goal or this process to be more efficient? Do I need to take some stuff away? Do I need to delegate some stuff? Do I need to ask management for some help to outsource, to do whatever it is? Is there an easier, more effective way to do what you're doing? Because the goal is not to work hard to the gristle. The goal is to be so efficient that you worked intentionally without zapping yourself of all your fuel. So working harder, from what my daddy showed me, has no value. The second thing I wish I knew, you are uncomfortable for a reason. That discomfort is trying to lead you to purpose. The fruit of the spirit of endurance is not for just everything. Newsflash, spoiler, if you will. What he is trying to get you to endure is the thing that is assigned to your assignment. Imagine enduring cramps and labor pains for somebody else's baby. Exactly. You need all that you have to be able to sustain what God has for you assigned to you. So what I'm saying is, most of the time we're taking situations and things and we're enduring, and God is like, scratching head. Why are you enduring that? That's not your assignment. Why are you feeling that way? Why are you pushing through that? You pushing through the ways people speak to you. And God is like, I'm trying to teach you confidence to actually be bold enough with tact to stand up to, I'm sorry. Is there a different way that we can go ahead and communicate this? Because the way that we're communicating now, I'm having a terrible time receiving what your intent is because of the verbiage that you're using. You're trying to endure the way that somebody's treating you, and God is like, I'm trying to get you to stand up for yourself because I'm getting ready to put you over some people that I need you to stand up for yourself. I'm doing something in you now because it is directly correlated with what I have for you later. What I have for you later. Instead, you see the issue come up and you do a little spiritual, emotional, mental whack-a-mole, hoping that if you do this a few times, it will go back down and stay down. And God is like, I'm trying to get your attention. And you are trying to bury what I'm going to use you for later, Moses. So when you endure outside of, let me confirm if God is trying to use this particular situation. Let me confirm if God is trying to shift and shape me in some kind of way, because I could be enduring in vain. Third thing, that I wish I knew. Another job isn't the answer. More money isn't the answer. Something is really weird. You ever moved and took your boxes and then moved them somewhere else, and when you opened up the contents, the stuff that you moved was in the new spot? That's like somebody with roaches, not judging those grandbabies, because you're a good grandbaby still. That's like someone with roaches thinking that the way to get out of being infested with roaches is just to move somewhere else, but you're still going to take the same stuff. And so most of the time, God is preparing you for a better job, for a better paying job, maybe even a better promotion. But what he's trying to do most of the time is teach you here so that you'll be a different you for the promised land. Sometimes people are uprooting themselves too early, and it's like, but you're going to take the stench, the smell, everything that Egypt did to you. If I take you to Egypt, to the palace immediately, they will see Egypt on you. There will be a certain cadence that you have because you have not had the time to wash off, to process what Egypt did to you. Because God is trying to change your perspective to see that Egypt happened for you. And so when you rush and you uproot and you try to go quickly, it's like, yeah, no, don't be so jumpy to get into that new relationship because the old one, I know what I want. I know that you know what you want, but there's some things that God wants to change so that you don't bring broken pieces of you to this relationship when the other person didn't really do anything to make you bleed that way. If not careful, you'll start cutting people and spilling blood on people that had nothing to do with you being cut and bruised in that way in the first place. And so a lot of the time we think new environment, yes, but not yet. And we don't like to hear the not yets because it's like, but do you see that I'm suffering now? Yes, but do you understand that if you take this little time out real quick and get the healing and everything else that you need while you're in this environment, when you are discharged from this healing environment, you won't have to revisit it if you know what made you sick in the first place. So yeah, sometimes another job and more money, it's not it. Fourth thing, you need time to heal. Weekends aren't enough. Saturday is not it. I'm not even going to count Sunday as a weekend because it's the Lord's Day, okay? Saturday is not enough. You need to decompress every day. You had a hard day, wash that off of you, do whatever you need to do, not happy hour and all the stuff that's tangible, but you need to learn how to reset. If you need to go to bed earlier, you need to go to bed earlier. If you like, yo, I'm probably going to, whatever it is that you need on a day-to-day, refuel yourself on a day-to-day because Saturday is not enough. That's why you come back in like, I am over this job. That's why Mondays do what it does to you. Because you just left here and you never got it off of you. And so it feels like you stayed there. Refuel yourself day to day, and it will start to feel like Monday is every other day. 5, those headaches are a signal. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Stop delaying your doctor's appointments. Take your physical. You're going to pay for all that insurance and everything that they make you enroll in once a year. You're going to pay for all that and not use it? Nope. I don't care nothing about no PTO. Take it on your lunch break. Yeah, doctor's appointments are not every day. Do something where you eat early and you go on your lunch break and do that. But that's a signal. Your body is giving you a signal because your soul is tired. And so spiritual wisdom says, let me take care of my vehicle that is transporting me to different parts of my life. No shade, just pressure. So go get that looked at and stop popping all them pills and doing all the things that gives you temporal relief and start to see, you know what, is this something that I'm eating? Start taking a food journal, diary, whatever you need to do, but be a better assessor of your shell. No, I'm not judging you. You almost made this my, okay, 6. You're irritated because you're not being utilized. What are lamps for? You're supposed to plug them in and you turn it and then like, yay, it's light, like in Genesis, right? But what if people started buying lamps for table decor because it just went with the color scheme of the room? Is that a good purchase? No, right? Because if you want table decor or you want something that matches the color scheme, like there's other ways to do that, more efficient ways to do that, and probably cheaper ways to do that than buying a whole lamp because lamps are used to provide light. And so what's happening is that's the same illustration and analogy that's happening in your life. You literally have not identified yet or have identified late. Oh my gosh, I'm a lamp and I'm working as table decor. I'm letting people treat me like table decor. I am doing things of table decor. When you start to understand your purpose, your passion, your calling, and your wiring, you'll start to see life completely different. There are a lot of people that are misplaced simply because they have not identified themselves yet. And because you are around like-minded people, which means same color scheme. Oh, okay, I'm blue, you're blue. We're friends. Like, no, that's not how that works. You're a blue lamp. They're a blue stapler. Yet everything on this table may be for a purpose, but they serve different purposes. You see what I'm saying? Wish I would have known that, K-Grab. 7. There's another route to retirement. Stop telling yourself that you work in that job because you work in a retirement. Stop telling yourself that you're enduring what you're enduring for later. Stop telling yourself that you can't start over, because if I hear one more person say, I'm this many years from retirement, or you know what, I already put this many years into the company, I'm going to have a hard time, because the God that I serve, when I was reading, what's that book? The Bible, it says that he started over when he looked down and seen that things were not going the way in which he intended. So if God can start over, why can't you? Why are people so afraid of starting over? What happened? Because it's new, so every day is new. Because it's scary? Oh, okay, it's better than staying there with Pharaoh? I don't know it. Why again? I mean, you don't got to explain it to me. That's between you and the Lord. But don't put things, titles, retirement, all these other phrases that make you, oh, okay. It makes you okay with enduring for no reason. Even if you try to give it a reason. Because what you don't understand is that you're going to get a percentage of what you make now. You're not even going to get your whole check. Like, you sure? Do you want to get to retirement and enjoy it? Or you want to get to retirement and say, yay, I gave them decades? Not even a question. 8, the pace that you're going is aging you. Let me tell you something. I do believe that, gray hair is the crown of wisdom, but I do believe that it arrives a little faster because of the fact that, people stress you. And I think that we allow people at the job to stress us more consistently at work than we do any other area of our lives. Why? Can you give me the como se dice? Why? Como? I don't understand. No comprende. You understand? So if you started looking at the way that you allow yourself to be treated as you are taking more from me than I could ever replace, maybe you'll allow people to treat you different. Oh, allow, because if you come into my space, that's a privilege. Yeah, I'm not asking or demanding. If you came close enough, if we are in this capacity, then at this point, I'm allowing whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah, we got to start taking responsibility for the fact that, things are happening not to us. Some of the stuff we're giving keys to locked doors. God is closing it, locking it. And you're like, hey, we changed the locks. Like, you keep giving it access. But that's another conversation for another day. Okay. 9, you're trying to make a living by not living. Can you imagine the bulk of your life being working for things, working for bills, and you haven't even enjoyed any of it? Yeah, that little bit of vacation that you get, that little bit of time that you get to spend in your home, that little bit of time that you get when you drive your car. So you're living to make a living to pay for the things that you don't live. You see how none of that. I'm not a mathematician, but when 7, 8, 9, it don't add up. You see what I'm saying? Like, something's off on that. And I just came to the point that I was like, I want to live a life worth living. I'm not skipping lunch. If you don't feel well, give yourself some space. Hey, I'm going to be an hour. If you don't want to take the whole day because it's going to be inconvenient, however you need to do, but actually start, implementing some living in your daily life. Just an idea. I don't know. I just wrote it down. Just want to make sure you get it. Okay, 10. You're suffocating your joy. You're suffocating your joy. I think a lot of us have been so responsible for so long that we don't know how to change the batteries on that to joy. I think sometimes we think that the accumulated annual days and the accumulated vacation days and the TPO and all that, like that is a grand gesture for work ethic. And it's not. You're suffocating your joy. Use your time. You got PTO. Them people need to pay you time off. Okay, great. And so when you have these times in your particular lunch breaks and whatever it is, like, stop suffocating your joy. Find things that if you can't go ahead and do that vacation now, what could you do today? What could you do this weekend on a smaller scale that will at least create a breath of fresh air? The same sky you would get in whatever that vacation is the same sky God gives you wherever you're currently at. You can literally mentally just go ahead on vacation, sit in your car somewhere, go walk and just be like, wow, go listen to some water, create the ambiance, but don't allow your joy to be stolen because you can't do what you want to do on a higher scale yet. Don't do that to yourself. I literally went to Puerto Rico one year, looked up and was like, all I found that I was doing was coming to the beach and looking at the sky and just going, wow. And while it feels different because it's somewhere different and all that other stuff, do you know that I was able to get that same feeling when I went to a park and I just got some silence and just went ahead and baked in the sun and looked up and was like, wow. So now the sky has become my mental getaway because it's twofold. It reminds me that I'm just a small person in this big world, but I serve a big God that takes care of me. And then I get to see what kind of sky we're going to have today. It's pink in it sometimes and blue, and oh, look at the clouds and how the sun is coming off of that, whatever, and this, that, and the third. You can make a whole vacation mentally if you choose. Don't suffocate your joy. If you can't eat the same foods or whatever, start enjoying some other stuff. Like literally, don't dread what you can't change. Start implementing some things that bring excitement. These are the things that I wish I knew before quitting. I really did, because I thought that joy happens after the job. And a lot of the times I feel like what God is trying to show us is that it can happen wherever you are. Joseph showed us that. From the pit to the palace, but he ain't never complained. Paul showed us that. For I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and this, that, and the third. And it is better to, I've learned how to live on low and content, and I've learned how to live on much. And Paul has said some stuff, and it's like, bro, your favorite home, your Airbnb for like most of your chapters of your life looks like it was in somebody's prison. Rebuke that in the name of Jesus. But it's like, yo, how can somebody teach you joy? Give you Philippians? How can someone give you that if their life doesn't look like that, but it doesn't look like that to you? What did Paul embody internally? What did Paul embody mentally? What did Paul embody emotionally? What did Joseph have to remind himself of? That they never mistaken the external environment to be a part of their internal life. It is something about being on the boat with Jesus, seeing the storm, seeing the water come in, but you know how to sleep sound. I wish I knew that before quitting. There were some great things that happened to me. There are some greater things that are happening for me. But if I had to go back and speak to that prior version of me, I would tell myself, you're going to master it now. You're going to master whether it's here, whether it's wherever. But wherever you go next, don't you dare not take these 10 elements with you. You understand? But all right, listen, go ahead and like and subscribe. Share it with the people who you feel like it will help. And we'll go ahead and talk next video. You know, I do it every Thursday, right? You should know. I'm not talking smack. I'll let you go. Later.